Hi everyone, welcome back to quarter one, week 7, Wednesday and Thursday's video. So we're going to write each fraction in the simplest form. We're just going to divide the denominator into the numerator. So 7 goes into 25 3 whole times. My remainder is 4/7. And on this side, I just divided by 3. 3 goes into 39 13 times, and 3 goes into 51 17 times. When you find the product here, there's no decimals, your answer should read 907,120. Move on. If Jamie has 7/10 pounds of chicken, to cook for dinner, he's going to split the chicken between 3 people. Split between 3 people. How much chicken will each person get? This is definitely real life. So please, 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 we're definitely solving this one together. So 7/10, yes, it's a 10, sorry. That's tough. And we're going to divide it by 3 people. Remember, when we have a whole number, we're going to put a 1 underneath it to make it a fraction. So I'm going to use my standard algorithm here. And we're going to keep the first fraction the same. We're changing this to a multiplication, and we're flipping 3/1 into 1/3. And this should be super easy for us to solve, because 7 times 1 is 7, and 10 times 3 is 30. Can't solve it any further. That's your answer. 7/30 is how much each person will get. Remember, that's not 30 pieces of chicken, that's less. So multiply, because that our denominator, even though it's bigger, it's actually going to mean skinnier or smaller pieces. Ooh, we're going to find the quotient. So 15 goes into 28,395. 15 goes into 28 one time. Yes, that's a 1. 1 times 28 is 15. My difference is 13. And then I'm just dropping down numbers here. Drop down 3. So now 15 goes into 138. 33 8 times. 8 times 15 gives me 120. And the difference is 13. I brought down my 9. 9 times 15. It's actually 135. And here's my difference. 45. 15 goes into 45 equally 3 times. So my answer should read 1,893. And if you're not solving division on the side, like I had to figure out how many times 15 can go into here, 130, 120. I'm showing my work right here on the side. And I have to do that in order to solve this equation. So if you're not showing work on the side, how could you possibly know these things? I didn't know it off the top of my head. I had to figure it out. That's part of the process. So please, if you need to divide using long division, use the scratch sheet of paper. Please utilize working it out. We need to get a handle on division with decimals and multiplying with decimals in 6th grade. Let's move on. Finding the sum, all I did was line up my decimals. But this particular one, I had to insert some zeros because there was some gaps. And then you just drop down your decimal in the answer. So your number should read 1,768 and 89. Okay. Ooh. What is the GCF of 72 and 36? So the greatest common factor is the largest multiple or factor between both numbers that both numbers share. Not the smallest, it's the largest. It's the opposite of least common multiple. So we don't work with multiples, we're working with the factors here, because we want to figure out which factors can squeeze into 36. For example, 1 times 36 goes into 36. 2 times 18 goes into 36. Obviously, 1 times 72 goes into 72. I knew off the top of my head 7 times 9 because it goes into 72. I did not know that 2 times 36 goes into 72 right away. I didn't know that. So here I am showing my work. And that is okay. If you need to show more work than you have to on the side, absolutely fine. Showing work is part of learning math. And I'm pushing that this week because I think these little mistakes that we've been making is because we're not showing our thinking. And maybe our thinking was wrong, but that's okay. So I know how to help you when we can move on. Okie dokie. Write the ratio. Oh, by the way, the biggest, greatest factor is 36 right here. So write the ratio of beach balls to goggles in simplest form. I wrote in here, I had enough space I felt like, so I went ahead and wrote in this box. There is 9 beach balls to 3 goggles. So 9 balls to 3 goggles, sorry, I put the S, it's plural. Or 9 over 3, or 3 over 1. So what I did was, you guessed it, I divided. 3 goes into 9 3 times, and it actually gave me my unit rate. So for every 1 goggle, you can see this, for every 1 goggle, there are 3 beach balls. See? For every 1 goggle, there are 3 beach balls. So I really like this little picture. Okie dokes. Jessie competed in a hot dog eating contest. Gross, Jessie. Did you really? Nasty. Nasty, Jessie. You're getting indigestion. Hot dog eating contest. You can eat 32 hot dogs in 8 minutes. How many hot dogs can you eat? 32 hot dogs in 8 minutes. How many hot dogs can he eat in 12 minutes? So I set up a little box, a little table like I did last for Monday. So hot dogs, that's what HD stands for. 32 hot dogs, and this is minutes. Min starts for minutes. So 32 over 8. And yes, I divided. But first, before I figured out how many fit in 12 minutes, I actually needed to figure out the unit rate. So in 1 minute, how many hot dogs can Jessie eat in 1 minute? I actually had to figure this out first. And all I did was put 8 into 32 right here. And here's on the side me showing my work, even though it's not really great. So 8 goes into 32 4 times. That's telling me for every 1 minute, this dude can put away 4 hot dogs. So I took 4, and I know I wanted a bigger number, so I knew I had to multiply. So 4 times 12 gives me 48 right here. Here's my multiplication. All right, I'm skipping this one because again, I'm preferring quality over quantity this week. And let's move to Thursday side. We're starting off with order of operation. Oh, scared me. I skipped a page, I don't know why. All right, 3 goes into, 3 to the exponent of 3, 3 to the 3rd power, minus 6 divided by 10, plus 8. I absolutely had parentheses first, right? So I did the parentheses, which gave me 6, and I dropped down everything else. Then I had an exponent, 3 to the 3rd power of 3. If you do not know that off the top of your head, it is absolutely wise on the side to show your work. So this is me showing my work. This is 3 to the power of 3. That means I multiply it, not 3 times 3, but 3 times. 3 times. 3 times 3 gives me 9, 9 times 3 brought me 27. So 3 to the power of 3 actually gave me 27. And then I brought everything else down. I had subtraction first, not addition, so I subtracted. And then I added, and my final answer was 29 for this expression. Okay, find the quotient. I worked this out and it goes in evenly, but I'm going to show you, and I'm showing you that I showed my side work as well. 41 cannot fit into 31. Actually, it can fit into 319 7 times. It brings me to 308. And it gave me a remainder of 11. And then I brought down a 0, so 110. 44 goes into 110. 2 times 44 gave me 88. My difference from 110 to 88 is 22. Holy shit, I didn't see what I'm talking about, sorry. And then I dropped down my final 0. 44 into 220, which went in there 5 times, went in there equally. And here I am trying to figure out how many times 44 can fit into 300. So here's my side work. Just show me. I gotta do it, so you gotta do it. Finding the quotient, I was able to squeeze this one on my paper. 7/9 divided by 4 over 1. Remember that second one, you just flip. So 7 times 1, it brings me 7. 9 times 4 brings me 36. I cannot reduce that any further. All right, the next one. On 34 acres of land, there are 8,942 trees. If the trees are spread out evenly, how many trees are on each acre of the land? So that each there is telling me that I need to divide. And here I am setting up 34 into 8,942. 34 goes into 89 2 times. 2 times 34 gives me 68. My difference was 21. I brought down my 4. 34 goes into 214 6 times. Here's me trying to figure that out. 6 times 34 gives me 204. My difference is 10. And then I drop down my final number, which was 2. 34 goes into 102 3 times, equally, no remainders. So there's no remainders and no decimals on this one. Your answer should read 263. Sorry. I liked this next one too. I thought it was fairly simple, even though it was decimals on both sides, because there was no extra repeating decimals or remainders or anything like that. So I set it up 74.4 divided by 0.8. And remember, however many times you have a decimal on the outside of the box, you need to move it to make it a whole number. So in this case, we just need to move it 1 time to make this one a whole number. And then we need to move this decimal 1 time on this side. It has to match. And then you just divide like you normally would. So 8 goes into 74 9 times, which brought me to 72. My difference was 2. And I just brought down 4. 8 goes into 24 3 times. So your answer should read 93. Straight up 93. It could also read 93. You could have a decimal if you wanted, but it would all carry the same value. Right? So that's your quotient. I felt like this could even be done, maybe even mental math. All right. Again, I'm going to skip this one because I really want us to focus on dividing with decimals this particular week. So I'm going to lighten your load, and we're going to jump to Anthony. Anthony purchased 4 burgers for $4.60. Based on that rate, how much would 1 burger cost? I like this one too. This could almost have been done mental math. So I set it up $4.60, and 4 is on the outside. So 4 goes into 4 1 time. I gave me 0, then I drop down my 6. 4 goes into 6 1 time. My difference is 2. And then I brought down my 0. So my answer should read, sorry, I didn't actually write the 0. Wow, Lisa. So my answer should read $1.15. And you can even check your work. You can multiply $1.15 by 4. You know what? Let's just do it. 24, 6, 4. Bam. Easy. Took us a few seconds and it matches. So we're right. All right, let's bump down to completing this table of marbles and bags. I saw a pattern here. This side is increasing by 8s right here, and this side is just increasing by 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should have been your answer, 3, 4. And then I'm going to skip the bottom one because we were focusing on dividing decimals this week. All right, boys and girls, please, please, please remember to show your work this week. I will be checking. Thank you, guys. Bye.